special someone in your life screaming at the TV every time they see our president? Crying in public because literally Hitler just tweeted? Still wearing their teachers union supporter shirt from 2012 while yelling fascist and Nazi? Well, help is finally here. Introducing Trump-endorsed, the leading treatment for acute Trump derangement syndrome in adults. Available in original Trump-endorsed daily tablets, MAGA-strength Trump-endorsed for MSNBC addicts still crying about 2016, Trump-endorsed anal suppositories for when the derangement is really deep-seated, Trump-endorsed butthurt cream for triggered snowflakes, Trump-endorsed overreaction ointment to calm hysterical meltdowns, Preparation Orange for that burning sensation every time they hear his name, Trump-evolved to finally let go of their Oval Office obsession, MAGA ears to stop hearing racist and fascist in every sentence, Trump drops to dry up the endless tears over mean tweets and see reality for the first time, MAGA middle for monthly emotional cycles triggered by Fox News, MAGA, the performance enhancer that makes your sex life great again. Hopefully this will help her chill out. Trumpalax, the powerful laxative that helps them shit out years of liberal brain rot. Trump wipes for cleaning up after explosive emotional diarrhea on social media. Trumpicillin, the antibiotic that kills TDS bacteria and CNN talking points. Trunquil, the nighttime bitching, complaining, protesting, hating, stupid head fever so you can rest medicine. Slip into a peaceful acceptance of reality. Trump-endorsed, for rapid onset TDS, comes with a fact-acting IV applicator. Trumpicid, calm your belly when the bad orange man comes on TV. Patriot patches, for steady and continuous medication so you don't relapse in the office later. And LibBlock condoms, specially formulated to attack and kill liberal or socialist sperm. Because the last thing you want is little liberals running around with your last name. Trump PM, get a good night's rest and wake up loving your country. Trump-a-King, a topical analgesic that will put away.
In 1775, the shot heard round the world. Farmers and blacksmiths stood up against the greatest empire on earth. From Lexington Green to Concord Bridge, they answered freedom's call. They left their plows and took up arms so tyranny would fall. They fought at Bunker Hill, they froze at Valley Forge, crossed the Delaware on Christmas night with Washington in charge. 250 years of stars and stripes unfurled. 250 years since freedom blessed this world. From the blood of patriots who gave their very all, we became the shining city, standing proud and tall. God bless America, land that we hold dear. 250 years, let the whole world hear. They signed the Declaration in 1776. We hold these truths to be self-evident, words that still give us chills. No king, no crown, no divine right could ever rule again. For all men are created equal, with rights endowed by him. Through Yorktown's final battle, Cornwallis, the latest sword down. The British marched in defeat while freedom bells rang out. 250 years of stars and stripes unfurled. 250 years since freedom blessed this world. We forged a new republic where liberty would reign. A government of by and for the people, not a king. God bless America, this beacon in the night. 250 years of standing for what's right. But States fought over borders, debt piled up high. The Union was crumbling, about to say goodbye. So in 1787, in Philadelphia's hall, 55 brave men answered freedom's urgent call. They wrote a constitution, a miracle in its time. 3 branches of government with checks and balances designed. They added a Bill of Rights so no ruler could oppress. Freedom of speech, religion, arms, the things that made us blessed. They gave us a republic if we could keep it strong. A shining experiment where right could conquer wrong.
Okay, here we go. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on Starship Adventures, our Monday night edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth. I had a bit of a late start there, a little bit of a false start, but I didn't want to give up. I reset and did it again and got it to go the second time. I am using my Windows 11 laptop, and thanks to Bill Gates, it's a lot worse than anything I've ever had that's Windows 10. So there you go. Thank you, Bill Gates, for screwing up something else. But anyway, yeah, so tonight's glitches and late start brought to you by Microsoft, the makers of bullshit every other time. All right, so there we go. My name's Ian. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth on Starship Adventures, and we are broadcasting worldwide on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform. And we're broadcasting fiber optic all the way to the internet. Tonight, I'm not in my studio. I'm in the house. My studio's air conditioning has gone out, and I don't want to half-ass it, and I can't fix it. So I'm going to have to buy a whole new one. We're talking $600 or $800. So I've decided to just do my show inside for the next month or so as I marshal up the necessary funds to get the air conditioner put in there. All right, so that's where we're at. So I will be here in auxiliary control for the conceivable future. So we'll see how this goes. I may bring the big computer in here. I haven't decided yet. So I may switch back to the main computer. Although it gave me a little trouble the last couple shows. But it could have been the heat. I don't know. It's warm in here tonight. It was 94, 95, 96, I don't know, something like that out there today. And we had no rain. So in other words, it stayed that hot all the way into the evening. Still 86 degrees out there right now at 9:19 at night. That's ridiculous. Anyway, there you go. Archie Bunker, Fred Flintstone, Daffy Duck, Foghorn Leghorn. I said Foghorn Leghorn, Wild E. Coyote. All of you need to hit the like button. Yes, I'm on the battle bridge. That's for sure. Yep, we're trying to get the likes up here. Tonight we're going to start with a situation that happened back on July 7th, but it didn't get a lot of coverage at first. This happened almost a week ago. It'll be a week ago tomorrow. A fatal shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Houston, Texas during an ICE vehicle stop Here's some things you need to know. And this I'm going to report things from both sides. So understand there's a lot of question here as to what happened. Most of the videos have not been released yet, so we're not sure. But here's the bottom line. When you're pulled over, you're pulled over. You're stopped. You're done. If you move your vehicle while the police officer's outside of his vehicle, there's a real good chance you're going to die. You cannot do that. There's certain things you do not do on a traffic stop. Number one, you do not get out of your car until you're directed to. I don't mean to sound like a prick. I think a lot of times cops overdo all this, but the truth is there's rules that we follow. There's an etiquette. There's two things you never do at a traffic stop, ever. Get out of your car unless you're told to. Well, three things. Number two, keep your hands where they can see them. Don't ever just, if he says, do you have a registration? Don't lurch towards the thing. Say, officer, it's in the glove box. We cool? I'm going to grab it. Okay. And then, and that's just, it's just common sense. It keeps them at ease. It keeps you out of trouble. And then the third thing you can never do during a traffic stop is drive away or drive off or drive backwards or move your vehicle in any way, because vehicles are deadly weapons. And the moment it's even perceived that one of those is moving towards an officer, he's allowed to shoot. Now, I want to qualify. As you guys know, I was a deputy sheriff. I also am a retired fire chief, so I've had a lot of experience in public safety. And I do want to tell you guys, I think the practice of shooting at moving cars is dangerous, and I think it should be questioned every time it's done. I don't think it should be done anymore at all. And I'm not being liberal or anything like that, but listen, shooting at something where A, the bullets will reflect off. Yeah, they'll deflect off. Pew! And wherever it goes, it goes. It catches some child on the fourth floor of some nearby building. Somebody's going to catch that bullet. Number two, what are you shooting at? The driver? One of these stupid politicians said today that, why are we shooting at the driver when we should be shooting at the tires? Well, because shooting at the tires never stopped the car. Have they ever seen these cars that drive for 40 miles on the rims with sparks like rooster tails out the back? Shoot at the tires. Stupid. But I will say that I'm just not, I think the whole shooting at moving cars is bad business. Because number one, even if you shoot the driver, you're not going to stop the car. Number two, windshields, side windows, rear windows, all a certain kind of glass. The front window is polymers and plastics and glass and polymers and plastics and glass. You can shoot a 9mm or even a 40 caliber into a windshield 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and it's still not going through. So what are we doing? Number two, side windows, usually the first shot takes out the glass and the second shot will go through. But the point is I was with a deputy one night, and this car was coming directly at him. It shows his side of the car. We were both standing over our doors, lights on. We had chased this car down to the end of this cul-de-sac, and it turned around and it was coming back at us. So we both get out of the car and we draw down on it, and as it's approaching, it goes on his side of the road. So I couldn't fire because the car and my partner were between me and the bad guy. But my partner, on the other hand, it came right at him at one point, and he was thoroughly justified. He took a bunch of shots at the car. Pop, 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 pop. He put, I think, 5 or 6 rounds in the windshield. None of them went through. The side window, he hit the side window with the first one, and it bounced up into the side of the window. He hit it with the second one. That one was rolling around in the floorboard. It took all the energy from it. And then the third one went through and busted the other window. And then he kept firing as it's going by, which is a natural thing to do. And as it goes by, he puts 2 rounds in the back window, and those were both laying in the rear rear deck back there. None of the bullets were effective. None of them. Good thing, too, the kid was 13 years old. But you don't run over cops. This is a rule. It just goes that way. You don't run over cops. Yeah, there's the other shooting in Maine is the newer one. We're going to get to that one in just a minute. Okay, so are we going to get more protesting? I think that's the bottom line. We are seeing some protesting tonight, but it's very, very minor. The videos are going up and down. Nobody's even keeping it up. Upper left and upper center window. Those are all purported to be live. The one there that's daylight, I believe, is going to be on the other coast. Yeah, you don't use your car as a weapon. I mean, that's bottom line. You might as well pull a gun if you're going to use your car. All right, so let's talk about these two incidents. So what do we got? Primary incident here. The first one happened in Houston, Texas, back on the 7th of July, about 6:50 a.m. in a Magnolia Park neighborhood on Canal Street. Ice Ages attempted a vehicle stop on a white work van driven by 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Arroyo. The victim's background, he was a Mexican national. He had lived here illegally for 35 years. He was supposedly working through a process to try to become legal. He left his home about 5:50 a.m. with his coffee and his lunch, and he headed to work. He was driving the van that was bringing the work crew to work. No driver's license, of course. ICE officials said that the ICE agents were conducting a targeted enforcement operation, meaning that they knew there was an illegal in the car. Apparently, at some point when they were trying to stop him, Salgado allegedly rammed an ICE vehicle, ignored verbal commands, weaponized his vehicle, drove directly towards one of them, and attempted to run them over, leading to an agent firing in self-defense. The man that was shot and killed was not the intended target of the stop. He was one of the other people in the vehicle. He was shot in the abdomen. He was transported to Benturum Hospital and died from his injuries. Firefighters noted the van then hit an ICE vehicle after he was shot. There is, of course, the eyewitness accounts of the three guys in the van, and their versions are completely the opposite of what ICE said. They said there was no attempted to run or anything else, although we got a bunch of wrecked vehicles, so I don't know how they didn't attempt to run. They're disputing ICE's version. Video evidence is being collected. Multiple security and bystander videos show ICE unmarked SUVs pursuing and attempting to box in the van. The van that the witnesses in the van said was not trying to get away. Okay, remember that. The capture, the approach, or the aftermath. Let's see. Agents... Yeah, they don't have an exact shot yet, but there is other video that they're trying to get. All right. He was a father of three. He had U.S. citizen sons. We call those anchor babies. And his son stated that he was a hardworking man. I'm sure he was. Look, this is nothing against the guy. You ran from ICE. ICE chases you down. They're cops. That's what they do. Yeah, that's the trauma center there. That's thanks, Tom. Yeah, that hospital I mentioned is the actual level 1 trauma center there in that area. Let's see here. Protests occurred in Houston, civil rights groups, the whole bit. All right, so then we've got another incident here that happened in Maine. This happened around 7 to 7:20 a.m. See, ICE goes out in the morning because a lot of these guys work construction jobs or landscaping jobs. They were in Biddeford, Maine, at the intersection of Poole and Hill. It's a coastal city about 15 miles southwest of Portland. Victim identification: a 26-year-old man from Colombia identified as an immigrants' rights group and neighbors as John Sebastian Goro. He had work authorization in the U.S. and a social security number. Agents were surveilling an address for a person with a final order of removal. When they tried to stop the vehicle, a white Kia sedan, coming from the address, it attempted to flee. Do you guys notice there's commonalities in all of these, okay? They attempted to flee. That's what they did. An officer discharged his weapon. DSS describing the vehicle as weaponized towards the agent. Out of concern for public safety, they did fire. Multiple gunshots were reported. A number of witnesses heard 6 to 8 pops. Guerrero was shot reportedly in the head area, causing profuse bleeding. He was pulled from the vehicle, spoke briefly, and he said, "I tried to stop." He tried to stop while he was running away and died at the scene. Agents had weapons drawn. You know, this is a dangerous business. This happens to everybody, not just illegal aliens. This happens to everybody. If you run from the cop, it's going to be rough. You'll survive it if you're smart. But you're not smart if you're running. They're going to get you. Just, dude, you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it in court. You got to take the arrest, take it on the chin, deal with it in court. That's what you have to do. You know, I'm sorry, but it's very hard for me to feel bad for people that got hurt or killed while running and fleeing from the police. Okay? They're both, well, and Moorhead, I'm not going to say they're open and shut cases, but they both look like very typical self-defense cases to me, and I see where you're coming from. Well, Cherokee, that's the problem. The kids are legal. He had been here 35 years. His kids were all legal. They were all anchor babies. He supposedly was trying to get his citizenship or get his legal status of some kind of green card or something. I question the fact that there's no body-worn cameras. If these guys don't have them, they need to get them right now. Every cop in this entire country should be federally and state mandated to carry and properly use a body-worn camera. I'm sick of this. We're at a day and time where we don't need to take anybody's word for anything. You know what I mean? Is this launch going on right now? I had no idea there was a launch going on. No idea. Oh, well. They go up every day now. It's kind of like if I don't go check the page, I don't find out. I guess it's over already, guys. Look at that. Oh, well, looks like it made it. That says T minus. That's coming up still. What the hell's going on? You know what I bet it is? I'm having a problem with OBS starting videos at the beginning instead of starting them where they're live. Yep, that's what it is. Anyway, yeah, this is live. We're T plus 7 minutes 42 seconds, and you can see that the first stage is on its return. So here we go. Here it comes. Look at that. Bam. They make it look easy, don't they? Man, they make it look easy. That's my favorite part right there. They stick the landing. So anyway, I don't know if we're going to get big protests. It doesn't look like it so far. Everything looks very small, very Mallender. I don't think we're going to get any kind of big deal here. Kitty, what's wrong? What? 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 I don't even know what that means, Ted. Do you hear this cat? Yeah, judges score 10, 9.5. All right. Yeah, the bison attack. We may get to that. What a crazy thing that was, huh? Yeah, he did. Yep. So anyway, with these two, we got two different incidents here. One 6 days ago, and one that happened basically, what was it, today? This one happened this morning. This is still very fresh. Happened between 7 and 7:20 a.m. this morning, local time, which would have been West Coast time. What's wrong, kitty? Come here. Come up here. Come up here, Teddy. Come on, Ted. Come say hi to everybody. Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Oh my God, he's huge. This is my biggest cat. What's wrong? There you go. That's how quick that goes. That's how quick that goes. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere near a bear or a bison. There's some of this shit that's above you on the food chain. And the best thing you can do is stay in your damn car. Keep it running. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these videos coming in from the different protest sites, and I don't think there's much going on. The one guy's got up a composite view of all the shots over in the Middle East right now. Yeah, that bull got up on the wrong side of the sack. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why people I don't know why people test fate like that. I mean, I did some crazy shit. I crawled into burning buildings for a living. Holy shit, what's going on down here? What what's all this doing? We've had a weird day here. I'd love to get some of this rain, but I don't think it's coming my way. It looks like Naples proper may get some of it. It's building back towards the coast. But I'm up here, so I don't think I'm going to get it. That's a big old storm. That's a huge storm. Lots of lightning. Those little dots are lightning. All right, so let's take a quick peek here. Oh, shit, I didn't hit the button. I'm sorry, guys. I was just looking here at this radar, and this is what it looks like down here right now. Look at this. Huge storms. Big thunderstorm complex down here in east of Naples in Golden Gate. And although it's kind of not really moving, it's pretty much stationary. It looks like the top's blowing off to the east, but it looks like the new stuff is forming out to the west. So this happens as we get into the evening. Looks like nothing for me up here, but down here by Belgrade's getting their ass handed to them right now, along with some other stuff over here. Look at this. South Bay, Belgrade, Runyon, it's getting bad, and it looks like it's going to build into Royal Palm, and also Palm Beach Gardens and Delray Beach, possibly. And there's another storm forming right now, a big, powerful storm. They've just issued a special marine warning. That's it, a special marine warning right now for the areas off the coast of Palm Beach, and Lake Clark. This is Palm Springs. This area is experiencing a rapidly popping up thunderstorm right now, right on the coast. And in the last frames, it's showing a great amount of rain now falling over West Palm Beach proper and Riviera Beach. So yes, a lot of activity down here in South Florida tonight, although it has completely missed me. Thank you, I guess. I really wish we could get some of that rain because it is freaking hot down here. All right, let's go to composites so we can see everything at one time here. And we don't really have much going on tonight. Let's back out and let's go to outlooks. And we're going to do the categorical outlook. And there you go, guys. Nothing tonight. No severe weather expected tonight. We got a 1 out of 5 over here in Arizona. We've got a little 1 out of 5 over here in western Montana. And that's really about it. I don't see it. It looks like a 1 out of 5 down here in this area. And sure enough, of course, it doesn't quite include me over here. But I'm still in the light green area, which means there's a slight chance for strong weather. But there you go. Not a whole lot to look at for tonight. And there's your satellite. Whoa, what the hell happened there? What the hell? Jesus. What is going on? I mean, this is weird. I looked at that like days ago. Oh, look at this. I want to show you guys something. Tomorrow we are expecting severe weather up here in Maine. This is all the fallout of that shooting. No, I'm just kidding. But we've got this area of orange here. It's an enhanced risk. It's going to be a 3 out of 5 for severe weather, 3 out of 5 for wind. So this area could see some severe weather tomorrow, with the rest of the country basically not doing too much. Montana, again, with a slight risk of some bad weather tomorrow. And then day 3, not a whole lot on day 3. They're generally not that aggressive on day 3. So we'll have to see what's going to happen there. But there you go. That's what's going on. So we're going to keep an eye on all this as we go through the night here. And they've got a new feature on here. And I can leave the outlook on if I want to or turn it off. So I'm still kind of getting used to using all this new stuff. Kitty, what are you doing? This cat's nuts. Anybody want a cat? Yes, the Margaritaville Resort survived 3 floods, including a Cat 5 landfalling hurricane with a 12-foot storm surge. Is Margaritaville safe? Yes, it sure is. It was built for hurricanes just before Ian came through. Matter of fact, it wasn't even finished when Ian hit. Yeah, Sao Paulo, it does. El Nino helps to knock them out on this side. The Pacific, as you guys can see, is going to be a lot busier. We've got all kinds of areas of interest out here. Let's see here. I haven't done this, but I know it's in here. There's your tropical hazards. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's cool. Boy, they got all kinds of new tools in here for me to play with. So there you go. All right. This weather-wise is really, really good, guys. Well, there you go. Hey, Merlin, welcome back. Yeah, well, we're limping along on impulse power, and I'm in auxiliary control. But other than that, we're doing good. Let's see here. We just had a Starlink satellite go up. Falcon 9 rocket launch. 27 Starlink satellites. All right, so let's get to some news. We talked about the 2 different ICE-involved shootings. We know that's going on. The upper left and upper center are supposedly views coming in from different protests, and the upper right, actually. That's out in Portland. And the lady with the candles. I don't know what she's doing with the candles. I think what she does is later on she'll have somebody drip the hot wax on her boobs. But I'm not sure. I think that's what's going to happen, but I'm not sure. Okay, so where does free speech stop? You know, we talk all the time about the importance of free speech and how we got to make sure that we protect our rights and all that good stuff, right? Well, yeah, of course. I think I'm for that, just like you guys are, right? But here's the deal, guys. Where does it start and stop? I want you guys to understand, first of all, when we talk about stuff like this, the Constitution only restricts the government. It doesn't restrict what a store does. A Walmart can ask you to leave because you're wearing a Trump shirt. Now, it's not going to go over well, and it's going to be a bad mark for them in the news, and they're not going to like it. So most of them don't do stuff like that. But the thing is a store or any public, but yet privately owned establishment can have you leave and can basically end your invite into that public play, into that private store. They can end your ability to be there and ask you to leave because of what you're wearing. Is this legal? Yes. Why is it legal? Because the Constitution does not apply to Walmart. It does not apply to Kmart. It does not apply to Winn-Dixie store or Walmart or Publix or Ingles or Piggly Wiggly. It doesn't apply to any of those. It applies to the federal government, the state government, the county government, the city government, independent taxing districts, and anything else that's government funded and government owned and operated. And that includes the U.S. Postal Service. Okay? Those, everything I just mentioned there, the federal, everything federal, state, local, they are bound by the Constitution. They are completely bound by the Constitution, and they must not do anything to shit on your right to speak. Sorry, I'm not as articulate tonight as I am sometimes. I got a bit of a headache. So anyway, I just want to make that clear right up front. In this particular story here, United Airlines passenger said the crew ordered him to change his controversial T-shirt before he was allowed to travel on the plane. Sam Sadah, who is of Palestinian descent, says United staff could not explain which dress code policy his shirt actually violated. A New Jersey man says he was forced to change an anti-war T-shirt before boarding a United Airlines flight after the flight attendant deemed the message offensive. Sam Sadeh of Linden, New Jersey, said he was boarding the June 4th flight from Atlanta to Newark Liberty International Airport while wearing a shirt that reads, "Bombing kids is not self-defense." It's an anti-war shirt. When a United supervisor approached him shortly after and took his seat, he told the outlet he was very confused when he was pulled aside. He was like, "Hey, the flight attendant finds your shirt offensive." I was like, "Why?" he says. He goes, "Here is the choices. Either you change your shirt or you can get off the flight." According to CBS New York, Sadid said he ultimately changed shirts because he wanted to make it home, but described the interaction as humiliating and said airline personnel were unable to explain why the message violated company policy. United Airlines confirmed to Fox News Digital that Sadie ultimately traveled on the flight after changing his shirt. The customer flew as scheduled. United United's contract of carriage states the airline may refuse transportation to passengers who are not properly clothed or whose clothing is lewd, obscene, or offensive. See, that's very subjective. Because what's offensive to you is not offensive to me, and vice versa. Fox News has not independently verified the passenger's account, and United Airlines has declined to provide any information or details about what happened or how they felt this was offensive. Sadie, who is of Palestinian descent, told CBS New York the shirt was intended to advocate for children and oppose violence regardless of nationality or ethnicity. He also said he filed a complaint with the U.S. Department of Transportation and is consulting with attorneys currently. Let's see. It's because it had the word bomb on it is why it ultimately was deemed to be inappropriate. You don't say the word bomb. You don't put the word bomb. You don't write the word bomb on anything and get on a plane. I get it. So, yeah, I understand it, but I think it's an overreaction. But anyway, where do you guys fall on this? I think this is one that is deserving of a poll. So I'm going to put a poll in. They always give me not enough characters to put what I need to put. Now I have to try to figure out how to do this. All right, I'm shortening it the best I can here. All right, there's only two options. What do you guys think? What do you guys think he should be made to do on this one? Should he be made to remove it, or should have been made? Oh, that ain't gonna work. Never mind. Damn it. Let me do it again. I hate this thing. I hate this. I shouldn't even have bothered. Okay, there we go. I just did it a different way. Okay, now remember, an airline can ask you to remove a piece of clothing. That's not unconstitutional. It has nothing to do with free speech. This is an airline. It's a privately owned business. And if they want to tell you you can't do this, whatever. What the shirt says was, for those of you who missed it or want to hear it again, what the shirt said was, bombing kids is not self-defense. That's all it said. Bombing kids is not self-defense. We're running 50-50 right now. It didn't say anything about bombing planes or bombing. It said bombing kids is not self-defense. It's actually an anti-war shirt. What do you guys think? What do you think, Ted? How are you going to vote? You going to vote on this one? Yeah, he says, no, I don't normally vote. Well, I mean, and then my next question is, what if it said F-U-C-K and then underneath it in big letters Y-O-U? Would that be okay? I don't know. I mean, companies should draw the line, right, somewhere, or no? You know, they make you wear a shirt. Should you be allowed to go shirtless? I already know nobody wants anybody on a plane shoeless. Actually, if you wear flip-flops, it's okay. It's when you wear shoes and socks and then you take them off is when we have the problem. It's stinky feet. So it looks like about 75% of you feel that it was not really offensive and should be allowed to go on the flight. That's where I fall as well. Because even though our free speech laws do not encumber the airline, I still feel that it's where we need to be. That's kind of what our country accepts. I also understand it had the word bombing on it, and this is an airline. So, God, you know, man, shit. I don't know. So, you know, this is a tough one. This was a tough one. When I read this, I'm like, wow, I see both sides of this one. I kind of am on both sides. But I ultimately fall on the side of the freest speech possible. All right. If you haven't voted, vote real quick. I'm going to end it. But there you go. That's the deal on that one. All right, next up, Trump says the U.S. is ready to hit Iran very, very hard tonight. It's going on right now, actually, as tensions escalate over the Strait of Hormuz. President Donald Trump reportedly said the U.S. is prepared to hit Iran very hard tonight and tomorrow, and that is the plan. Tensions escalated over the Strait of Hormuz. Trump saying he's going to drop a big fat bomb on him. Let's see here. As somebody's already said today that that one of them's going to go nuclear. I don't think they can go nuclear. I know we won't go nuclear. So that's my feelings on that. All right, so 9 votes, and most of you guys, a majority felt that the shirt should have been allowed to be worn. All right, so there we go. What? Come on, Teddy. What's wrong? This cat's normally not this vocal. I wonder if he's got a bellyache or something. He got wet food tonight. He got dry food tonight. He's got fresh water over there. I cleaned his litter box out earlier. I don't know what his problem is. I can't figure it out. He's walking around going, rah, rah, rah. I don't even know what that means. I'm trying to figure it out. Rah, rah. Come on up here. Come on. Yeah. Hey, Teddy. Why don't you say hi to everybody? Yeah. Teddy bear. He's a big old cat, this one. He's a little over 3 years old. This is the one that was found in the parking lot in the pouring rainstorm. It could be a sign that there's a lot of things, yeah. I think animals sense things obviously beyond what we do. It is true that animals will react before an earthquake. It's also true that when those hurricanes are coming and that pressure starts dropping, these cats get really weird. We generally, all the indoor ones, I try to get them in cages or in one room because they go nuts when the pressure drops. They get really scared because it's a lot. And then the wind's howling and that low guttural noise that wind makes when it's over 80 miles an hour, they don't like that either. There's not a lot of thunder, but there's this weird roar that happens during hurricanes. I've been through a number of them. And when you get over about 80 mile an hour sustained, you start to get this very low rumble. It's almost like infrasound. And it accompanies the regular sounds that you're hearing, the howling wind, the sound of the wind going between the houses and over the trees. And I'll tell you something else you hear during hurricanes and tornadoes. You hear the sounds of chainsaws. There was even a study done to try to figure out why when a tornado is hitting someone's house, why do they hear chainsaws? What they found out was what makes that sound is when a building begins to come apart, the pieces of wood that are touching each other will have air forced through them, and it makes the sound of a chainsaw. And that's where that comes from. And you'll hear that like what the hell is that? Is somebody out there with a chainsaw in the middle of the storm? No, it's ripped something apart, and the wind is being forced through a bunch of pieces of wood all at one time, and it makes that sound. What's up, Teddy? I'm a big Ted boy. Yep, animals don't like the pressure drop. Yep. Let's see. William, I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time with just making a statement like decency laws should exist, because I've watched these amateur radio operators try to force their dignity laws on us for years on amateur radio, and everybody has a different idea of what dignity is, and decency. When we start talking about what's decent and what isn't, what's decent to you is not decent to me, and vice versa. And I think it's very subjective. And then we get back into who decides what's decent and what isn't. I guess the airline in this case would decide, but do they decide based on the whim of some flight attendant, or does it need to be a set of things written down that only these things can be deemed offensive? This is a real hard thing here when we start policing what people put on their shirts and what people wear on their hats and what people have sewn on their luggage. This is a little crazy. I don't know. And I'm not at all sold on decency laws and decency standards. The FCC has tried for years to both impose and enforce decency standards on different forms of communication, including radio and television and amateur radio and others. And I'll tell you what, it's been an absolute shit show. What it's turned into in amateur radio is a bunch of old curmudgeons that like to sit around all day and police the airwaves because it makes them feel better. And the truth is, the FCC is not even policing for decency anymore at all, period. So the whole thing is a waste. You can pretty much say what you want on the ham radio now. I hear people on there, F this, F that. You can pretty much say what you want on there. I don't, because I use some decency on there. But, it is what it is. I don't know. I just have a hard time because the moment you say, well, we should have some standards. Well, now somebody has to decide where that line is drawn. Where do we make the bar? Where's the line drawn? It's okay to say the F word? Oh, nope, the F word's too bad. Okay, well, can I say shithead? Is that okay? Oh, no, that would be too bad, too. So who decides? Do we get a bunch of nuns that tell us what's good and what's bad? Or do we get maybe some motorcycle guys from the chain gang? Have them tell us what is offensive and what's not offensive. This is where I have a problem with that. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying this is where my problem comes with decency standards, is because decency standards means that there now has to be a standard, and someone has to agree on that standard, and then someone has to enforce that standard on the rest of us. William, I get you. You want something in the baseline to try to keep people from just going totally over the top. I do get that. I understand that. I'm one of these people. I do drive fast, but I generally only go about 10 over or less. Generally about 8 or 9. My speedometer exaggerates by 2 miles an hour. So if I go about 8 or 9 over, I'm really only going 6 or 7 or 8 over. I never get tickets. That's how I do it. And I'm a fast driver. I like to drive fast. However, I will tell you, if tomorrow they removed the speed limit off of I-75, I would do 80 miles an hour. That's what I feel is the safe speed. That's how fast I drive now. That's how fast I drove back when it was the double nickel. And that's how I would drive if the speed limit was completely removed. So I personally believe that if they removed the speed limit, you wouldn't find much different than you find up there right now. Hell, remember they said when you make pot legal, the whole world's going to come to an end. They made pot legal and the crime rate went down. So you can never believe what they say when they say, oh my God, if you take this tax off of beer, the DUIs are going to go way up. Nope, never happened. Oh, if we go and double the amount of tickets we'll write, we can force down the number of fatalities. Nope, that doesn't work either. They've proven that. You can write twice as many tickets and you'll still have more fatalities this year than you did last year. There's no direct correlation. No matter where you go, it's never as bad as they say it's going to be. It's never in absolutes. But anyway, I just feel like the best thing we can do is to, when it comes to all these different things, especially when it comes to policing people's decency, I just think we got to be very careful. The government definitely has to be very careful. I believe that the FCC has been violating rules over the years, enforcing decency in the first place. But that's just me. Yeah, I mean, you know, in Texas, if you couldn't go 100 miles an hour, you would never get there. Yeah, it is true. I know mine is correct. I have had 2 different occasions where I was able to test it. But yeah, it's, I know that mine is about 2 miles an hour light at 70. So most of our speedometers will exaggerate, will act, not exaggerate, but, well, they do. They exaggerate a little bit. Like if it says you're doing 60 or 70, you're probably doing 68 or 69. It's not quite, they all exaggerate just a little bit. They do that to buy you another mile or two, so maybe you won't get a ticket. But see, I like to go no more than 10 over. So I don't add that in. I never go more than 10 over on my speedometer. So I really never go more than about 8 over, if you really want to get technical. Yeah, I'm not saying that we don't need some decency in the world. I'm just saying that the government can't mandate decency, especially when it comes to free speech. That's all. And like I said, I don't totally disagree with you, William. And some days I agree, but it's the greater good you have to look at when it comes to stuff like that. Let's see here. I did, in fact, read something about that bar fire. It was terrible. I believe a bunch of people died. 28, I think 28 killed, 25 critically injured after a fire engulfs a Bangkok bar. Is this video? What is this? We'll see what this is. Okay, a huge fire tore through a bar in Thailand's capital, Bangkok, late on Sunday, killing 28 people and leaving 25 critically injured. I want to see if I can show this. Hold on. This might be pretty messed up. Shit. Okay, give me a second, guys. You know how it is. And of course, it's all in upright format. I'd like to frickin' strangle people with that upright format. It's just terrible. All right, guys. It says this is distressing content. I'll play it. Let's see what it is. This is that fire. I'm going to read you more about it on the other side of the video. Here it is. Oh my God, that's some kind of gas. That must have been some kind of gas main go or something. That's crazy. That's more like an explosion. God bless him for trying, but that little extinguisher won't do anything. Look, thick, yellow, acrid smoke. See that? Anytime you see that really thick, acrid yellow, we call it yellow smoke. Anytime you see that coming out, that indicates a very thick, charged, very hot fire. What could that be coming out of there like that? I've never seen fire come out of a burning building like that. Yeah, some kind of accelerant for sure. Gas main under the building, something. Yeah, they don't do a lot of fire codes and shit over there. Wow. Well, there you go. That's what we got there. All right. All right. So let's finish talking about what happened here on this one. It looks like a huge fire tore through the bar. The blaze started near the stage of the bar. They better see if there was any pyrotechnics. People need to stop using pyrotechnics inside of buildings full of people. Didn't we learn anything in a station nightclub? The blaze started near the stage of the bar in a popular Chattahoochee district, then spread rapidly, cutting power and engulfing the room with smoke, eyewitnesses said. Footage posted online shows panicked customers screaming as they fled, some with their clothes on fire. Through the flames enveloped the front door of Ron Beer Not La Paro. The firefighters who arrived at the scene just after midnight quickly extinguished the fire. They found the bodies of most of the victims in the bathroom. Guys, I'm going to give you some pieces of advice. Okay? This is from an old firefighter, okay? Never go back. Fight for the entrance you know. Never look to hide from a fire. You fight for the entrance where you know where it is. Number 2. Never go up. Resist the urge to climb. You'll find a stairwell. Don't go up. Last resort. Never go up. You know who goes up in a fire? The dead people do. Okay? Because you're eventually going to run out of up. Smoke goes up, heat goes up, flames go up, buildings go up. Don't go up. If you're on the second floor, jump out the window. Don't go up. Because you're going to go to the next floor and it's too high to jump now. Always look for other options besides up. And again, back to number 1. Never hide from a fire. You fight for the exit you know. Go where you know you can get out. This could happen to any of us. Thank God we live in a country with NFPA, the National Fire Protection Administration. We've got amazing publications out there written to keep our firefighters safe. Essentials of Firefighting, the Francis Brannigan structural books, all of the instruction manuals that Florida has written down here. We've got some of the best firefighter training in the country here in Florida. And when we train these guys to survive, there's certain things we train them never to do. You never hide, and you never go up. Yeah, the Chinese insulation. Yep. It looks to me, Moorhead, like there was definitely an accelerant. And it looked like it was high. That's what I couldn't figure out. But then again, it could just be releasing in there and the fire was all up. Man, that would have had to have been... I don't know what that is. They're going to have to figure this out for us because I don't know what it was. Most of the people who died were found in the toilets. When the fire broke out, they panicked. There were no lights. And they talked to some different people that said that those people, they didn't know what to do. And they ran towards an opening, and that opening did not go outside. It went in the bathrooms. A number of people described trying to use small fire extinguishers. They're saying it could have been caused by an electrical short in the air conditioning system, although no official cause has been given. Authorities have promised a thorough investigation. You think? Maybe call somebody that knows what they're doing. This is not the first time such an incident has occurred in Thailand. Despite officials' promises to improve fire and electrical safety standards following previous incidents, they're still often poorly enforced or don't even happen at all. One survivor escaped by seconds after she stepped outside for a cigarette. Reuters news agency reported there was a boom, a very fast boom. There was no way to get out at all. See, I think something blew up in there. Maybe not a bomb, maybe it was just a gas line, but something blew up in there. She describes seeing rescuers carrying out the body of a friend she was drinking with earlier and enjoying the music with. She said she lost her mind. Yeah, one of the musicians reported blasts inside. Now, when a fire breaks out and it's rapidly going, you'll get a lot of things popping, and even canned goods and things will pop open and create small pops and explosions. But this seems to be more than that. Firefighters who were alerted to the blaze by passing drivers were reportedly able to bring the flames under control in about half an hour. Despite their efforts, though, they did lose 21 people. 71 people were injured, including 25 who are all listed in critical condition. According to the update Monday evening, 14 people are moderately injured, while 32 were slightly injured. The owner of the bar is among those currently in intensive care. Whew. Looks like most of the victims died of smoke inhalation. They also say the bar had a lot of ceiling decorations, which probably facilitated this quick spread of the blaze. There are also reports people found unconscious near the building's emergency exits, suggesting that there may have been some obstruction. They're of course investigating all of this. Oh boy, let's see. There was a lot of people that came to help, breaking out windows, dragging people away. Apparently a lot of bystanders came to try to help these people out. As of today, the bar had been cordoned off with shattered windows, furniture's piled up outside at the entrance. Confronting pictures have emerged of many body bags lined up outside the bar. Inside, the furniture, walls, ceiling are completely blackened with parts of the ceiling peeled off. Wow. It's not the first time it's happened. In 2022, a fire broke out in a bar in a town south of Bangkok, killing 22 people. On the 1st of January 2009, 66 people died in a nightclub fire in the capital, which also injured more than 200 others while they were ringing in the new year. In 2024, a fire started by an electrical short circuit in a famous open-air Chatakak market killed 1,000 animals. So, yeah, these people got to get their fire codes going. I hate when it comes to your home. I think they are way too concerned with what you do with your own home. But when you start having a commercial building where in that commercial building, what we do is we bring in people from the public into this commercial building, and then we have to keep them safe in there. We need fire codes. I'm sorry. We need strict ass fire codes. We can no longer just let people perish from these big fires like this. It's terrible. Moorhead, you're right. A lot of these other countries, this is something that you guys may or may not be aware of. This is one of the countries where Thailand doesn't look at personal space like we do. When we go into a bar, I can show you the elbow room bar, and yet still it's shoulder to shoulder, and yet it's still not as tight as it is in these Thailand bars. These people don't believe in personal space. They just all shove into a spot. That's what it looked like to me. A Blevy valve going off, deploribus. It looked like the valve that goes off on a propane or natural gas tank that prevents a Blevy, which is a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. Blevies occur when flame impingement on the tank creates a double bad situation where A, the skin of the tank loses integrity due to the flame impingement, and B, the tank increases in pressure due to the heat, and it creates a bad situation, and it creates a boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion, or a Blevy. When a Blevy starts to form, the only way you can do it to prevent the Blevy from actually exploding and killing is to actually have a relief valve that will open up at a certain pressure and begin to blow away some of that gas that's about to explode and kill everybody. And hopefully if that valve will open up enough and we can get rid of enough of the gas, hopefully it will prevent a large-scale explosion. And yeah, that's what it looked like to me, was a high-pressure valve going off to prevent a Blevy in a propane tank. That's what it looked like to me as well. But those generally shoot up and not over. But then I'm thinking, what kind of place would have a propane line running right next to the front door like that? I don't know. It's kind of weird. I want to know what that was. I'm very, very interested. Yeah, Zen, I am not an international traveler, and I never wanted to be. I'm perfectly fine right here in good old USA. I'm perfectly fine. I wouldn't mind going to Canada if there was something there I needed to see, but I'm pretty much here. I'm good. I'm perfectly good. Yeah, there we go. That brought back the One Night in Bangkok song. It's actually a very good song. I love that song. Well, I actually... I have a story about that. That's how I ruined my back. In 1992, I responded to a structure fire as a fairly new lieutenant. And when I arrived on scene, my chief was pulling up. There was three of us, myself, my chief, and my partner, which was my engineer. And the chief said, I got the truck, you guys gear up. So I was already mostly dressed because we had the air packs built into the seats. This was a long drive, so by the time we got there, all I had to do was hook my air up, and I was in. So I jumped off the side, pulled the pre-connect. It looked like a double-wide trailer with heavy fire coming out of the front door and the front window. So I go walking up there, and he's charging my line. My partner's getting his gear on, because remember, he drove, so he couldn't have got dressed. He drove the engine. The chief's now pumping the engine. I get water. I start to move towards the door. My partner's still gearing up. I get to the door, and the door is kind of hanging open. I go to move the door, and it just comes off the hinge and falls over. There's this fire coming out, and I'm down low. So I start hitting it back and forth with an 1 3/4 line. I'm hitting it back and forth, semi-fog, just trying to put some steam into the air and try to get it all to cool down a little bit in there. So I'm trying to find the seat of the fire. You don't shoot the stuff up here. That's gas burning. That's a waste of your water. You want to shoot the couch that's burning, or the chair that's burning, or the rug that's burning, because that's where all that energy is going up and creating all that fire up over your head. So you crawl in. I crawled in about 3 feet, and I'm up on my knees, and I'm fighting this thing, My partner's at that point starting to head towards me, and all of a sudden I noticed that there's a bright white fire burning right over to just to the left of center. And I came back over, and I straight streamed it, and I hit that thing as hard as I could. And what I didn't realize was it was a pile. This was not a home. This was a chainsaw motor shop that the guy had built out of one of the homes on his property. So I thought I was fighting a couch that was burning, but instead I was fighting a fire that was a pile of magnesium chainsaw motors. Yeah, metal, burning metal. Yeah. And when I hit that pile of burning metal with my straight stream, it flashed. When it flashed, it touched off a propane explosion. There was a small cylinder of propane right nearby, and when it hit that, it touched off, and it all of those burning chainsaw motors were suddenly sent off in every direction by this propane explosion. I was lifted up and pushed outside of the modular home or trailer, whatever it was. I was lifted up and pushed out by the explosion, and I landed out in the front yard on my back. That's what screwed my back up. And the first thing I remember after it, you know what it looked like? It looked like in Star Wars when they go to FTL, when they go to when they go to light speed, and the stars just go and they fly past you. That's what it looked like. I saw all this bright white light, and then it all flew past me like stars. And then next thing I know, I'm looking straight up at the sky, and I can see that my mask is all burned, but I can see through it a little bit, and I'm staring up at the sky, and my partner comes over and he starts dragging me away, and he's putting out my jacket, and it was a crazy day, guys. But yeah, that's what screwed my back up. And magnesium is some dangerous shit when it gets going. It's a very, very hot fire. It's so hot that it actually converts the water into hydrogen and oxygen as you're shooting it with the water. So water doesn't put it out. You know what puts it out? Purple K. It's a special kind of extinguishing material that you use for burning magnesium and burning burning metals fires. It's a Class D fire, and it's called Purple K is what you use. It looked like Star Wars. Oh, anyway, I still got that helmet, guys. It's out in the other room. I'll show it to you one day. It's out in the studio. But I still have my lieutenant's helmet that I was wearing that day, and it still has several of the burn marks in it. But anyway, let's see here. Yeah, now you know why I like Actually, I've always loved Star Trek. When I was a little kid, I built my first antenna on the roof of my dad's house without him knowing, so that I could pick up television from 120 miles away. WTOG, channel 44 out of Tampa Bay, Florida, and serving Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater, and Fort Myers, 120 miles away with my antenna. But I did all that because I wanted to watch Star Trek. And it was on Saturday and Sunday nights at midnight on WTOG, home of Dr. Paul Bearer. Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows any of this stuff I'm saying, but I used to love that channel. That was my channel. It was the rerun channel, basically. Well, Merlin, there was a little bit of that. There was a little bit of where am I at? What am I doing? Holy shit, I'm still alive. It was one of those. I didn't remember the whole thing until later. It took me a while for my brain to be able to finally wrap my head around, if you will, all of what happened. It was a miracle. I mean, it could have been a piece of metal went right through my head, you know? Yep. Tube TV, Victor. I had 3 or 4 TVs in my room. My parents always thought it was weird that I wanted all these TVs. Even I had a grandfather that died, and I hardly knew the guy. I never even actually met the guy. But he died, and he left me his black and white TV. It was a 19-inch black and white TV. For 1976, that was a nice TV. Anyway, yeah, I mean, color was out, but the really nice big black and white ones had awesome pictures. Yeah, I was just huge into Star Trek, and I had to watch it. And I also liked it because WTOG played things like The Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, and Space 1999 and Battlestar Galactica, believe it or not. They had, for a while, they were doing Sci-Fi Night, where after Star Trek at 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night, they would play one of about 6 different shows. It could be Doctor Who, it could be Space 1999, it could be Battlestar Galactica, it could be one of about 2 other shows I can't remember the names of, and they would show a different show. And you know why they had that? Because all those shows I just mentioned did not make syndication. Star Trek made syndication. There's 76 episodes. It's enough for syndication. However, most of these other shows, like Space 1999, went 2 seasons. Battlestar went 1.5 seasons. And so some of these shows never made syndication, but these channels would still show the shows, rotating them with other shows that didn't make syndication. It was a cheap way to fill time in the middle of the night. And it gave people like me a chance to stay up in the middle of the night and watch my favorite television shows. All right, so anyway, by the way, WTOG Channel 44 is still broadcasting the same basic programming out of Tampa, the Tampa Bay area. All right, yep, and I used to always love to watch the station sign off. I remember 44 went all night. The Tampa stations would go all night, but our stations in Fort Myers would all sign off. Yep, Doctor Who, they played some of that too. I've never been a big Who fan, but I do like it. Yeah, there was, man, I'll tell you, it was hard back then because you had to schedule when you were going to get to watch something. Now it's like I can watch any Star Trek. I can watch, right now there's literally like 940 Star Trek episodes, and I can watch any one of them I want right now. Any one. To think about that back then, we used to dream about stuff back then. I can remember with my Commodore 64 thinking that one day the computers would be big enough that we could send pictures to each other and eventually even sounds, and then maybe one day even short video clips. We used to talk like this. It's going to be great. One day all the homes will be connected and we'll be able to send information instantly from one home to the next. And then Al Gore made the internet. Okay, so the next thing I want to cover tonight, Trump-backed daylight savings time bill clears key House hurdle. Guys, I never thought this was going to happen. I wrote this off.
The battle over daylight savings time, once again, a focus.
Shut up. I didn't think this was going to happen. Trump supports the effort, which cleared House Rules Committee 6-4. and would let states lock in year-round daylight savings time. This is not what I would do, but let me tell you something. If it means I never have to worry about clocks changing again, I'm good. Yes, the V series was amazing. But the TV show that they did for half a season between the first miniseries and the second miniseries was bad. But the two miniseries were amazing. Yeah, you had to check the TV guide and actually plan what you were going to do. Anyway, the House Rules Committee on Monday teed up a floor vote on the Sunshine Protection Act, which would allow states to enact daylight savings time year-round with an option to opt out. The committee approved the rule in a 6-4 vote. The measure, hey, Victor, thanks for buying that. Victor just bought a membership for somebody. And Joe Mitchell, you just got the membership, so there you go. Thanks for coming in and commenting, and now thank you to Victor for throwing you a free membership. So there you go. All right, thanks again, Victor. All right, so what we got here is the measure has the support of many coastal lawmakers and President Donald Trump, who has repeatedly urged Congress to make daylight savings time permanent and end the twice-a-year ritual of changing the clocks, a practice currently observed by every state except Hawaii and most of Arizona. Proponents argue that resetting clocks has negative health impacts, while permanent daylight savings time would boost outdoor recreation, tourism, and economic activity, among other benefits. Most Americans already set their clocks forward 1 hour each spring to preserve more evening daylight time, falling back 1 hour in November. Americans are overwhelmingly supportive of a policy, and they want to end the practice of springing forward and falling back. Locking the clock all year would have positive impacts on sleep schedules, energy conservation, motor vehicle safety, and our economy chairman, according to our economy chairman, Brett Guthrie. In practice, its change would mean more time for people to exercise outside. This is so dumb. This is so freaking dumb. I can't stand myself. This gives you more time to go outside. It just moves the time around. They act like that the sun's going to have to actually give up more sunlight now. I mean, I just don't like the way they write this. People are like, oh, well, now the kids will have... All you got to do is change the times of shit. You know? I don't get this. Now I'll have time to work out. You had time before. Just get up an hour earlier. Anyway, God almighty. And these schools, well, if you change the clocks, we'll never be able to do this or do... Just change your times. God, this is so simple. Just change your times. If you need an hour more for the ball field or whatever, change your school times. Floridians and Americans across the country are tired of the biannual time change, and the evidence is clear that permanent daylight savings time can improve public health, reduce traffic accidents, lower crime, encourage more outdoor activity. I think that's all horseshit, whatever. And I'll explain in just a minute, but is it going to cause safer roads? What they're saying is now it's going to be light all the way home. You can get off work at 6 and you drive an hour home and it's still daylight outside all year round or whatever. Well, that sounds good, but what you've also done is put every elementary student in this country that rides a bus at a dark bus stop. Used to just be that down here it was the middle school kids. Or I'm sorry, down here it was the high school kids. The high school kids had to be in homeroom at 7:10. At certain parts of the year, it's not even going to get light till 8:30 now. Which means these kids are going to get up out of bed, they're going to get their breakfast, they're going to get dressed, they're going to walk to the bus stop in the pitch black dark, they're going to sit at the bus stop in the dark, hopefully not getting run over like two have gotten run over here recently, and they're going to get picked up by a bus, they're going to travel to school on a dark bus, They're going to get to their homeroom. They're going to walk to their homeroom. It's still going to be dark outside. They're going to sit down and they're going to have the first 40 minutes of their class before the sun comes up. I just want you, what's that going to do psychologically? Is that okay? I don't know. You tell me. I'm just a talking head right now because I'm going to be honest with you. I see the benefits of all three plans. I see the benefits of daylight savings time year round. I see the benefits of standard time year round. Okay? And I also see the benefits of the time change going back and forth. Even though I don't want to do it anymore, I'm not blind to the benefits. I see the benefits of it. So, all that being said, if it was up to me, I would set it back to standard time. However, it's not up to me. And so I will agree to set it to daylight savings time permanently as long as they stop making us change the clocks twice a year. I think this is probably one of the more stupid things we've ever done in this country, and I'm glad to see it finally coming to an end. Yeah, I mean, they don't even mention in this article children standing at a dark bus stop. And I think that's a disservice. I think that if you're going to talk about this and talk about all the good things about it and talk about how it's going to be safer driving, it's going to be safer for everybody, and they make stupid arguments again, like I said, oh, now construction workers will have more time. No, they won't. They won't because they start at 7 a.m. now. Well, now they won't be able to start till 8 a.m. They won't get to work till, they're going to literally, during the winter, they won't get to work till 8. And now they're going to have to work till 6 or 7 at night, which means they're not going to be home for dinner with their family. So, I mean, is this a good thing? It's going to be good for some and bad for others. Yeah, people, oh, now we won't have time to milk the cows. Now we won't have time for football games after school. Now, what are you talking about? It's the same amount of daylight. You can move your effing schedule however you want to fit within the daylight. My God, it's just not that complicated of a process. These schools were all like, if you go to regular time all the time, that's good because they won't be standing out in the dark in the morning, but then the football teams won't be able to. All the football fields have lights. They've switched them all to LED lights. We can just leave these things on all night. They don't burn that much power. Okay? The practice band field has lights. The ball fields have lights. The football field has lights. The practice field has lights. The parking lot has lights. The school has lights. I don't get the argument. I just don't. And yes, construction workers already change their schedule depending on when it gets light, when it gets dark. So this won't change a thing for them. They're going to make sure that when first light happens, they're pulling up. That's how you do it in construction. And it's for more than one reason. Down here, you want to start at 7 and get as much done as you can, so that by 2 or 3 o'clock you're going home, because that 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. window is murderous down here with the heat. So our workers like to start really early down here. By going to daylight savings, it does push you back an hour, but that won't change. It'll still be, they'll be in the morning. It'll be cooler in the morning. So again, it doesn't make any difference. I think that. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand. Yep. You know, we went somewhere. Mom and I were walking around somewhere the other day. You know, I take her places all the time, and they had some. Oh, it was in one of the department stores in the Charlotte Mall, Port Charlotte Town Center. and they had some Halloween stuff out. Mom's like, "Oh my God, it's Halloween!" I said, "Yes, it is." I said, "Here we go." I said, "It's July." I said, "Halloween stuff comes out usually around August 1st. It's just a little early." Fall's my favorite time of year. Yes, mine kind of too. I'm a big Christmas guy. I don't do a lot anymore. I used to be the guy that was in the newspaper every year for the Christmas lights and stuff like that. I love Halloween and I love Christmas. Those are definitely my favorite two holidays of the year. Yeah, well, Sanguine, every clock I have now changes on its own, but I still don't want to change no more. I don't have a single clock that doesn't auto set because I quit buying clocks that don't set themselves. Well, Daddy's right here. Hey, Daddy, come here. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. I'm Daddy Kitty. I'm not feeling all that well, but I'm rallying over the last 4 or 5 days now. I brought in, I could feel his belly. I brought in, just like yesterday, I brought in 2 big fat heaping plates of food, and I let him sit here and eat until he was done. And then I let the rest of the cats have it. I did the same thing again today. Big, huge plate of food, and he just sat there and scooped it up like a drag line. And so, yeah, so he's eating shitloads of food. So there's hope. There's hope that he's got some time left. I almost was about to ride him off. He's still pretty weak. His fur's looking better. His fur had taken on that look like cats get when they're about to die. Their fur gets all weird. But that's kind of gone away. He looks kind of like himself again. Well, Incognita, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Poor Daddy. What you doing, buddy? All right. He likes to lay on the corner of the laptop, but sometimes he gets over on the buttons. All right, so we've got that now pending out there, and also the SAVE Act coming around again. I really would like to see that passed. All right, we already did this one. And that's pretty much what I have. Let me take a look over here. God, I hate when it does that. Stop. All right, so one of the things that's came out in this latest UFO release, which is very interesting. It's actually, they call it the floating brain UFO. And I'm not sure what this thing is, but we're going to look at it here real quick. Without the frickin' ads, of course. All right, this is the object right here that we're talking about. One of the most intriguing clips from the latest release of Pentagon UAP files is the mysterious object that earned the nickname the floating brain. The roughly 30-second video shows an unusual cluster of dark maroon-colored objects estimated at between 12 and 15 feet. Let's try this again. Can I, All right, I'm running this back at a much slower playback speed. Okay, this is the roughly 30-second video shows an unusual cluster of dark maroon-colored objects estimated at between 12 and 15 feet tall, drifting through the sky over the Atlantic Ocean. The unresolved incident recorded on January 2020 was submitted by the United States Northern Command to the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. According to the report, the object appeared to travel with the wind, did not maneuver or change direction. Investigators also noted that it resembled a large, somewhat deformed balloon. Over the weekend, AI-enhanced still images from the footage began circulating online, igniting a fresh wave of debate and speculation. If the object was simply a cluster of oddly shaped balloons caught in the wind, why was it important enough for the military to document and forward as an unresolved anomalous phenomenon? Let us know what you think. So there you go. This is the latest one that's stumping everybody. We don't know what this is. It looks to me like a bunch of spaceships that have connected up with each other. That's kind of what it looks like to me. I don't know, guys. You tell me what you think it is. I don't know, guys. What do you think, huh? It looks like a Star Trek space dock, yeah. Space doors are closed. It looks like a little bit of everything, I know. Yeah, they used a $140,000 rocket to splash a $22 amateur radio Pico balloon. But that was after Joe Biden, the moron, decided to allow that Chinese balloon to traverse the entire country before he finally did something about it, the stupid ass. What you thinking, Daddy? You're a good kitty. Yeah. Is your baby? Want to go get your baby? Little baby went outside for a little while. About once every 2 days, that little baby will start begging for its mama. And I'll open the doors, and it'll go outside, and it'll go hang out with his mama for a little while. And then it wants back in the house and is good for 2 days. All right, guys. All right, anything else, guys, before I let you go for tonight? It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, and it's 7 o'clock on the left coast. There's not a whole lot going on. Even after 2 different incidents involving people getting shot by ice, in both cases it seems justified. But I want to say after both these incidents now, 6 days apart, We've got about 15 protesters, maybe 20 out there. There's not a lot of protesters. So that's encouraging. I think people are finally starting to let this insanity go. I just can't believe the left has been pushing this. You know, it's bad enough you got Tampon Tim out there pardoning people that rape children, and that's an absolute fact. You can look it up. And so you got all this kind of stupid shit going on out there. I just don't understand it. I really don't. Why do we suddenly love all of these people that don't belong here? Why don't we love the people that do belong here? Yeah, it kind of looks a little bit like that. Hey, no problem, Kat. I love doing it. Yep. Mama's outside. The boys are in here. I got Littles and Teddy are in here, and Ed Earl is in here, and Daddy Kitty is in here. Daddy Kitty's lived outside most of his life, but anytime it's cold or anytime he gets ill, this is his third major illness, I bring him in, and he stays in here with me until he's better, and then he goes back out. Isn't that right, buddy? But he's had a stroke now, and after the stroke, he's getting sick, and he's having lung problems, and, you know, none of this is all that unusual for cats that have had a stroke, and for people that have had a stroke as well. It kind of complicates things. Everything from food going in to food coming out to everything. So look at that belly. He has ate so much food tonight, he's probably going to puke. Are you going to puke at some point or what? I don't know. He seems to be feeling a little bit better each day. I'm just glad I haven't had to put him down. I'd like for him to live for a while longer and then just go in the night. Yeah, Sanguine, it was pretty stupid that Joe Biden, that idiot stick, let that go all the way through our whole everything like that. I couldn't believe that. It's like, what are you doing? Anyway, the last couple things here. Let me just, I want to show you guys something here. This is pretty cool. This is via spaceweather.com. This is solar images. Oh, I got to do it this way. I got to standardize this eventually. All right, so here we go. This is really cool. Wow, it didn't work. Oh, what in the hell? Never mind. Jesus, it's just not even going to be worth it. There we go. All right, what I'm showing you guys here is a time-lapse photo. And it's looking at something. It looks like an aurora a little bit, maybe an aurora. No, this is called air glow. That's right. This is air glow. If you want to read more about it or see the pictures yourself, they're at spaceweather.com. Spaceweather.com. That's where I go for all of my space weather if I don't get it from here. Let's see here. There's a new moon on July 14th. That means now is a good time to look for air glow. Aaron Watson photographed the phenomenon Saturday night from West Elk Mountains of Colorado. Now, this is hard to see with the naked eye. You can see it, but it's hard. This is done with a camera that really brings in the light. He said he was enjoying the Milky Way when he noticed some wispy brightness in the sky to the north. Thinking it might be auroras, I grabbed the camera and found neon green on my view screen. See, he saw it just a little bit with his eyes, and then he was able to get the camera on it, and when he set the light down on the camera, all of a sudden, there it was. The green air glow comes from photochemical reactions in the Earth's upper atmosphere. It's present almost every night, but it is only visible from very dark sky locations on nights around the new moon. Tonight is such a night. Get away from the city lights, point your camera at the sky. If the screen turns green, you found your own air glow, and that's really all there is to it. This exists everywhere. And I want you to notice in this picture, notice the streaks, all those streaks, those are either satellites or they're planes. All right. Yep, isn't that a great shot of the Milky Way coming around? Beautiful, beautiful shot. I love this picture. It's a great picture. There's a lot going on in this picture. I love the foreground, the shadowing foreground. I like the Milky Way galaxy turning sideways because this picture was taken in a northern latitude. And then, of course, all the streaks from the planes and the satellites and things like that were causing those streaks. Could even be a meteor or two, who knows? And then, of course, the air glow is just beautiful. So there you go. All right, anything else, guys? Last call for the chat room. This is going to be last call for the chat room. I'm just about to close the Monday night edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on Starship Adventures. I do appreciate everybody being here. It looks like the protesters have pretty much given it up. There's still one going on. I think that may be either in Maine or Portland. I'm not sure which. But there is still a few people out there. You know what gets me is when we have when Glenn Beck throws a march, 1 million people show up. Even when the left used to throw their big, pro-killing babies marches and stuff, they'd get 500,000, maybe 1 million. These protests lately, guys, they're lucky if they get 40 people that show up, maybe 100. Even on big days like the big commie day, they had about 6,000 or 8,000, 10,000 people at the most, at the biggest rally. So they're not getting the big, huge numbers like you would think. And especially like in the Middle East, when they protest, they'll have 10,000, 100,000, 1 million people show up. And of course, then they come out and shoot them all. They'll have, in Europe, in the UK, they'll have some kind of labor march or something. And they'll have 1 million people show up. We're just not seeing numbers like that, especially from the left. They're dying down. I agree. I think what we're seeing now is protest fatigue. I think that even they are starting to realize, man, look, we are always on the wrong side of history here. I don't know. Maybe. All right. Well, Snow Baby, thanks for coming in. I do appreciate you coming in tonight, everybody. Thank you, guys. Yeah, the USAID money. God, that was such a waste. Yep. Well, Joe, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Yep, everybody, I do really appreciate y'all coming in. We're hit that thumbs up button. We're really trying. Also, is Dispatch in? I don't know if Dispatch is here or not. I don't know if Dispatch is here. I will send him an email instead. I'm working with him on some projects right now. I was going to set it up. William, I tend to agree with you. I think that these, especially with all the blow up stuffed animals and all the bullshit, I don't think this is doing them any good. I agree with you, Sanguine. USAID was a joke. Teaching transgender volcanologists in Sri Lanka how to do their job because they're transgender. I mean, you know, some of that USAID stuff was really, really, really stupid. Matter of fact, all of it was stupid. Well, thank you, Incognita. I appreciate you guys. I enjoy your company as well. Absolutely. All right. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll do it again. They say when you leave, you should always leave them wanting just a little bit more. Oh, goodness. Well, there you go. All right, let me do one last check of the news, and I'm going to sign off. Okay, a new one's just dropped here. Trump defends U.S. strikes on Iran, says another major attack is coming. Donald Trump on Monday defended U.S. strikes. Said that we've badly weakened them. We were in Vietnam for 19 years. We've only been in this war for 4 months, and it's about to be over. Let's see here. Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so that's all there is. All right. Yes, millions for circumcisions in Sri Lanka. Yeah. Yep. Incognita, I agree with you on that. But I don't know what else to do. I know that a lot of the people over there are good souls. I know that. But they've also had every opportunity for 50 years to overthrow their government or whatever. You know, we didn't like our king. We told him to shove it up his ass, and we fought a war over it. That's what you have to do. I don't know. I do believe it is becoming necessary. I don't want it to become necessary. I would like to think we can finish degrading their military without taking out all their power plants and their bridges. Trump has tried. Let me tell you what, Trump has tried very hard. He has shown a lot more patience than I have, as if I'm anybody. But he's shown a lot more patience than I would have, I'm afraid. I agree. No matter where you go, if you got a tyrannical government, it's like North Korea. There's a lot of really great people in North Korea. We'll never see them. We'll never know them. And they'll always be known as the assholes because of their leader. But the truth is, there's a lot of good people in North Korea. No matter where you go, this is the case. It's never the people we're fighting. It's generally the terrorist groups or it's the government. But it's never the actual people that are out working every day. It's not the people making the sandwiches at the corner that you're fighting. It's always the government. And it's always the terrorist organizations that they fund. Yeah, they're two-faced bastard jihadists. That's exactly what they are. You know, jihad is the goal. Every time they do a ceasefire, every time they talk a deal, every time they get Trump to back off, they're doing what they've done for 47 years. They get right to the brink of the end. And then they back off just enough that they can rearm everything and they can build back enough stuff and they can get things going again. And then they hit everybody again. And then everybody hits them back. And then, oh, we need a ceasefire. All the ceasefires is they should call it desert rearming, because that's all it is. On both sides, even. I don't trust for 1 minute that they're going to do what they should do. Not 1 minute do I trust that they're going to do what they should do. Not for 1 minute. Kitty, I think you're on my keyboard a little bit. All right. Yes, Sanguine, that bothers me very much as well. I'm telling you guys, they're taking over Europe. They're going to have a harder time here, but the commies are taking over Europe. The Middle East is taking over Europe. Europe hardly even knows what their own culture is anymore. Yep, William, it's true. It's even that way here to a degree, although we're mostly the good guys. Yep, Daddy Kitty. I have had a lot of quality time with my little man here. Oh, don't do that. I hate when you do that. Come on, come here. Why are you so grabby? Why are you so grabby? Come here. Oh, there he goes. I want to hold you. There. See? I wanted to hold you. Yeah. There he goes. There he goes. Oh. He's a good one. I don't know how long I'm going to keep him, but I'm going to keep him as long as I can. He was pretty weak. About 5 or 6 days ago, he could hardly walk. His back end would like flop over and stuff. But I've got him eating. That's what you got to do. You got to get him eating and get him drinking. And once you can do that, you can pull him back from the brink. It's also possible that he's got cancer or something. Who knows? I mean, you just have to love him while you can. I know that once I get him calmed down like this, he'll lay like this in my arms pretty much for a while. Daddy Kitty, you got a following out there. You know that? He's so good. Yep. All right, well, let me take a look real quick here, and then we're going to sign off. All right. On tonight's show, on the first half for Coast to Coast AM, starting at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, biohazard expert Ethan Fearson will explain the process of cleaning up crime and trauma scenes. He'll detail what he deals with once authorities are done with the site. Fearson will also talk about suicides, homicides, and the many events that take place before and after he is called to tidy up the scene. In the second half, Rob Gutro is a paranormal investigator and pet medium He'll discuss how pets give you signs from the afterlife. He'll talk about the many aspects of animals in the afterlife, including if they understand their death and their communication skills. I think that would be a good show. What do you think, Katie? Would that be a good one? What you think? Yeah. You okay? I'm going to put you back down, okay? Here we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go, you guys. There we go. There we go, guys. Hey, guys. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Parasite cleaning. I'm going to look that up because I'm not sure. Ivermectin, yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's going to be it for tonight. I do want to thank everybody for being here one last time. My name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures. We're on every night right here on Starship Adventures for the Sights and Sounds of Earth, 9 p.m. Eastern. Join us each night as we go through the news and the headlines. We follow storm chasers. We track hurricanes. We check on the paranormal. We see what's going on in the sci-fi world. And we talk politics and everything else in between. So it's a great show. I have very few rules. We don't do a lot of sports here. But we do a lot of other things. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know what that means, Fly Guy. Feed him the Trump diet. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Hey, thanks, guys. I used to do like, I don't know about half the characters on South Park. I've kind of let some of it go now. But I used to do Mr. Mackey and Kay. I used to do Mr. Garrison and I used to do all kinds of the different characters. But I don't do many of them anymore. But Eric Cartman's my favorite. He is just a little shit stain, and that's why I never lost how to do him, because that's an important one there. Screw you! I hate you, gay. All right, yeah, I'm taking all this down, William. All right, guys, let's call it. This has been fun. I do appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to run the promo and then the closer, so you guys will have plenty of time to say goodnight to everybody. And thanks for coming in on behalf of my entire crew, including the ones in sick bay. This is Starship Adventures, and we are signing off for tonight. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being there, and we'll see you again tomorrow night right here at 9 p.m. Eastern on Starship Adventures. This is the YouTube channel Starship Adventures, broadcasting live from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. Starship Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is Starship Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Signing off. QSY, 7-3s, everyone, 7-3s.